If money leaks were loud, you would have fixed them already. The problem is that the worst leaks are silent and seductive. They sit in your pocket, buzz at the right moment, and make spending feel like a swipe instead of a decision. Your phone is not evil, but it has been trained by world-class teams to turn friction into butter. If you feel like your budget keeps getting sideswiped by tiny charges, one-click checkouts, and late-night scrolls that turn into packages, the culprit is not your character, it's your environment. The fastest way to restore control is not a 30-day boot camp or a vow of digital purity. It is a 10-minute reset that changes how your phone behaves so your money stops obeying someone else's plan. Start with the truth that the brain that makes your choices is the same brain that responds to cues. It likes short paths, bright buttons, and rewards that show up soon. Your phone has been optimized to feed those preferences, which means you are fighting a casino with your bare hands. You do not need to outwill a casino. You need to move the slot machines out of the lobby. A small set of changes does exactly that. In 10 minutes, you will remove the shortcuts that spend for you, put speed bumps between you and your worst habits, and make your goals the first thing your eyes see, not the last thing your fatigue remembers. Minute 1 is for the lock screen, your daily billboard. Right now, it probably shows a stream of offers disguised as updates, cart reminders, drops, flash sales, loyalty programs that are loyal to themselves. Replace that billboard with a single sentence that buys you time. Set your lock screen wallpaper to a short line that names what you're funding. 6 months of safety, down payment spring 2027, debt-free December, 2 weeks in Kyoto, quit fund. Make it specific and dated. Each time your thumb wakes the phone, your brain will step over your own instruction before any app gets a vote. A reminder that lives under glass beats a good intention that lives in your head. Minute 2 is for the home screen. The first screen should be boring. Boring is cheap. Move every shopping app off the first screen. Create a folder 2 swipes away labeled Stores and bury them inside. Drag social media off the first screen unless you're paid to be there. Replace those squares with tools that reduce spending. Your banking app, your budgeting or balance app, your calendar, your notes, your grocery list, your password manager, your health app. Put your cooling off list as a pinned note widget so it stares back when you unlock your phone. You are not deleting joy, you are removing the vending machine from the doorway and stocking the pantry instead. Minute 3 is for disabling the autopilot of purchases. Open browser settings and remove all saved cards. Do the same inside your phone's payment wallet for any merchant you overuse. Remove one-click checkout on marketplaces where you impulse buy. Keep a single primary card for online spending and hide the physical version in a drawer. Use a virtual card with a lower daily limit if your bank offers it. These steps do not stop you from buying. They require you to retrieve a card and type a number. That 30-second pause is the difference between why not and not now more times than you imagine. Friction is a budget tool. You've been taught to hate it. Start loving it. Minute 4 is for notifications, the attention tax collector. Turn off push notifications for every shopping app. Turn off promotional notifications for social apps. Keep only notifications that protect you or help you show up. Calendar reminders, messages from people you actually interact with, package delivery updates for things you already bought, fraud alerts from your bank. Disable badges on shopping and social folders. A red bubble is not a to-do, it is a trap. The fewer dings you allow, the fewer just checking detours that end in "how did that get in my cart?" You are not becoming unreachable, you are becoming expensive to distract. Minute 5 is for email, where marketers write love letters to your impatience. Search unsubscribe and spend 60 seconds tapping it on anything that sells instead of serves. Better yet, create a filter that sends promotional email to an ads folder you check on Fridays if you plan to buy something specific. Move important financial emails, statements, payment confirmations, fraud alerts into a money folder that your brain learns to trust. Your inbox should be a workbench, not a bazaar. Each email you do not read is a purchase you do not make to satisfy a feeling an ad manufactured for you. Minute 6 is for the browser. Swap your default homepage to blank. Remove every shopping bookmark that has turned your breaks into browsing. Disable cookies for the worst offenders if your settings allow it, so carts do not follow you across the web. Install a price tracking extension or list tool that lets you save items to a watch list without buying. Your goal is to turn the internet back into a library instead of a mall. Libraries let you leave with ideas. Malls encourage you to leave with bags. If you must shop, shop like procurement. Search, compare, decide tomorrow. Minute 7 is for payment alerts that keep you from losing track. Open your bank or card app and set 3 alerts. 1 for any transaction over an amount you choose. 1 for card not present transactions, which most online purchases are, and 1 for when your checking or free spend account falls below your weekly cap. These alerts are seatbelts. You are not trying to catch yourself doing something wrong. You are trying to catch yourself before fatigue chooses for you. You will be surprised how quickly a $148 purchase at Wichco alert unclenches your buying hand and sends you to check whether that was a want or a wander. Minute 7 is for payment alerts that keep you from losing track. Open your bank or card app and set 3 alerts. 1 for any transaction over an amount you choose. 1 for card not present transactions, which most online purchases are, and 1 for when your checking or free spend account falls below your weekly cap. These alerts are seatbelts. You are not trying to catch yourself doing something wrong. You are trying to catch yourself before fatigue chooses for you. You will be surprised how quickly a $148 purchase at Wichco alert unclenches your buying hand and sends you to check whether that was a want or a wander. Minute 8 is for social environments that make spending feel like belonging. Mute accounts that push products you don't need. Unfollow influencers whose business model is to move inventory through your identity. And add accounts that talk about craft, nature, movement, and community, where the only call to action is to live. Create a no-spend collection where you save posts about free experiences, recipes you'll actually cook, and local events. Curate your dopamine. If your scroll shows more ads than you chose, move your recreation to feedless platforms for a month, podcasts, books, long-form videos, or a playlist, and watch your urges go quiet. Minute 9 is for installing time between desire and decision. Add a reminder app or use your notes to create a 48-hour list. Every non-essential goes there with a date. You're allowed to buy on or after the date, never before. If you want to be stricter, make it a 7-day list for anything over a certain amount. The rule isn't punishment, it's a solvent. Most wants dissolve in time. The ones that survive often improve because you comparison shop, find used options, or decide to wait for a sale you plan for rather than a sale that ambushes you. Minute 10 is for your 10-minute money check, the ritual that keeps this phone behaving. Once a day or once every other day, open your banking app and look at one number, the balance of your free spend account. Not your net worth, not your portfolio, not the headlines, just the pool you use for variable spending this week. If it's healthy, you close the app. If it's low, you switch to night's plan from delivery to cooking what's already in the fridge. If something odd cleared, you investigate. The check is too small to dread and powerful enough to prevent the "I didn't realize how much I spent" moment your phone is designed to produce. That's the 10 minutes, and yet the real fix is wider, changing what your phone is for. Right now, it is probably a slot machine and a mall. Turn it into a workshop and a library. Put your grocery list at your thumb's reach. Keep a quick capture note where you write ideas instead of objects to represent them. Use your calendar to schedule walks, calls with friends, and deep work blocks so boredom doesn't auto-route to browsing. Keep a reading app on your first screen and stock it with the essays and books you actually want to finish. When friction enters shopping and ease enters building, your spending falls without feeling small. None of this requires you to swear off comfort. You are not joining an aesthetic of austerity. You are joining a group of people whose spending aligns with their plans. The alignment begins with an admission. When I'm tired, stressed, or bored, my phone does not make me wiser. It makes me faster at acting on urges created by other people for their goals. When you change the device from a vending machine to a tool belt, you become slower at spending and faster at living. That slowness is the core of wealth building for normal households. It is not just about investing or earning more. It is about giving every dollar a few seconds to ask, "Are you sure?" before it leaves. Consider the psychology you are reversing. Retailers lower the pain of paying by making you tap instead of type, scan instead of sign. You raised it again. Retailers compress time between desire and decision with free shipping, limited time offers, and only 3 left. You expanded again with 48-hour and 7-day rules. Retailers make money abstract with points, store credit, and monthly slices. You made money concrete with alerts and a single free spend balance. Retailers place themselves on your homepage. You moved them to the 3rd screen. Retailers insert nudges into your notifications. You chased them out and kept only the ones that protect you. These are not acts of willpower, they are acts of design.
Habits want scaffolding, so build a little. Write your phone finance rules on a card and take a picture to keep in your favorites. No card saved, shopping apps in a buried folder, notifications off, alerts on, 48-hour list, daily balance check. Share the list with a friend or partner and ask them to try it with you for 30 days. Compare notes. Did your urge to buy drop? Did your attention come back? Did evenings feel quieter? Did you forget a bill, or did automation do its job? The shared experiment will make you more consistent than private resolve. Money loves company when the company holds the same line. Expect friction in 2 places: the first checkout after you remove your cards, and the social twinge when you scroll a life that looks shinier. The first checkout will feel irritating. Good. Irritation is a signal that your system is working. You are spending on purpose instead of with muscle memory. The social twinge will whisper that you are missing out. You aren't. You are rebuilding the relationship between want and worth. You are saying yes to a safety fund, to a flight you chose in advance, to a home upgrade that solves an actual problem, to sleep that a better mattress buys instead of a 4th season of a show that sells you commercials. Replace "I can't" with "I'm choosing." The sentence changes how your brain hears the plan. You may worry that this is too small. Your phone can't be the difference between broke and stable, can it? Look at your statements. The sums are built from small decisions: late night orders, app stores, deliveries, forgot to cancel trials, renewals you stopped using, brand defaults you never questioned. A phone tuned for consumption makes those decisions automatic. A phone tuned for intention returns the burden of proof to the purchase. That is enough to change the slope of your savings rate and the size of your emergency fund this quarter, not next decade. When the slope changes, everything downstream changes with it. Your stress, your ability to negotiate at work, your willingness to say no to nonsense, your patience with opportunities that need a few months to mature. After a week of the 10-minute fix, extend the idea. Create a separate free spend account at your bank and move your weekly allowance there. Link only your buried shopping apps to that account, not to your main checking. Now your card declines when you overshoot instead of lending you a story about how you'll make it up later. If you share money with a partner, set identical allowances so autonomy stays intact and arguments have nowhere to hide. Keep big purchases in a shared 7-day list. Talk them through on Sundays, buy on Mondays if they still matter. Replace "surprise me" with "schedule it." Your week will feel calmer than any delivery spree ever did. You can even turn your phone into a coach. Set a daily reminder titled "One Cheap Win" at a time you typically browse. When it pings, do something that gives your future self a gift for free. Cancel a subscription, list one item for sale, move $20 from free spend to savings, schedule a dentist appointment, put a hold on library books you want, plan Friday's free fun. The human brain loves streaks. Keep a streak of cheap wins and watch your identity shift from "I keep messing up" to "I keep keeping promises." Phones are good at streaks. Use that for yourself instead of for an app that wants your attention forever. Finally, forgive yourself for the purchases that slipped through yesterday. Shame is a poor teacher. Curiosity is better. Ask what cue you followed. Boredom, stress, a notification, a badge, a story. Remove that cue or route it somewhere else. If boredom sent you to a store, route it to your reading app or call a friend. If stress sent you to takeout, route it to a walk and a frozen meal you stocked for exactly that moment. If a badge pulled you into an app, remove the badge. If a story, "I deserve this," took over, write a better story that lasts longer than a package. I deserve to not panic at month end. I deserve a morning without bill dread. I deserve a trip I can pay for with cash. That story tastes better when it arrives. Your phone can help you get there if you make it an ally. 10 minutes won't change the world, they will change the defaults. Defaults shape days, days shape months, months shape whether your money feels like a leash or a set of keys. Your phone can be the leash if you let it, or it can be the keys if you put your hands back on the door. Change the wallpaper, bury the apps, delete the cards, kill the dings, build the list, turn on alerts, check the one number. Then walk around your evening with a pocket that no longer whispers "bye" every time you're bored. The quiet you hear is not emptiness. It is the sound of your attention coming home, and your money will follow it back.